Therese, are you leaving? I just want the people to see Therese on Therese's day.
Well, you guys.
This is Therese and we are matching. Welcome to Saint Stories.
It's me.
Just need to stay here for a second. Therese, have you ever prayed a Saint Therese novena?
I have. Many times, in fact.
Many times. Woot woot. Today is the day we finally get to talk about Saint Therese. Definitely a fan favorite. My friend Sarah Erickson asked me a few months back if I was a Saint Therese girl. Still developing my answer. Probably by the end of this video, I will conclude yes, because I love her. And this friendship has been a long time coming. If you know anything about Saint Therese, you might be aware that she is normally referred to as little. The little flower, her little way, etc., etc. But you are probably also aware that her vocation, her life, her heart was anything but little. On paper, her life may not look like anything extraordinary. In fact, after she passed away at the age of 24, one of the sisters in her convent said there wasn't much to say about Therese. But boy, oh boy, was she incorrect. In fact, there's so much to say about her, I don't know how we're gonna fit it all in this video, so here goes nothing. Therese lost her mother, now canonized, Saint Zélie, pray for us, to breast cancer at the age of 4. So she grew up with sisters and a lot of emotions. I can relate. Growing up, she was known to be sensitive, practically falling apart at any sense of rejection or criticism, you name it. Her emotional outbursts became so problematic that she begged Jesus to help her. And on Christmas Day at the age of 14, Therese overheard her father, as he was leaving presents by her shoes, make an offhand comment on, thank goodness this is the last time we have to do this for her. And after this comment that Therese overheard that would normally send her into a spiral, into an outburst, bring up a lot of emotions in her heart was moved in a different way. She felt sensitivity towards her father, and she knew in this moment that Jesus had done what only he could do. That when she invited him into her heart, he transformed her. She recalled this moment as her conversion because she was no longer overly sensitive and emotional and distraught over any sense of rejection, but she was transformed by Jesus. Although she was only 14, she held this deep faith, and she knew in her heart that she wanted to join the Carmelite convent. But when she asked to join, they turned her away because of her age. She then went to the bishop, who said the same thing. And so, in an attempt to take Therese's mind off of this crazy idea of joining the convent at age 14, her father took her to Rome. And little Saint Therese was on a mission. While she was in Rome, one thing led to another, and she found herself face to face with the Pope and begged him for his permission to join the convent, to which he granted. So within a year of her conversion at Christmas at the age of 14, she joined the Carmelite convent. She spent just under 10 years with the order before she passed away. And because of the rankings of her sisters who were also a part of the convent, she was never able to make final vows. She became a permanent novice, which meant she had to ask for permission for everything she did for the length of her time in the convent, for the rest of her life. However, that humbling experience was not even close to the biggest challenge that she faced. She still had a tendency to get discouraged. She felt distant from the Lord in prayer. She even said at one point, Jesus isn't doing much to keep this conversation going. And if you can relate to those words, I want you to pay close attention here. Therese didn't join the convent and become this pious and prayerful and confident woman right away. She endured challenge after challenge after challenge and was repeatedly sanctified in her vocation. But through all of this, how she became a saint was being exactly who she was, and that is a child of God, a child in the eyes of her father. Therese had great aspirations for her life, and one might think that a Carmelite vocation and a profound impact on the world have to be mutually exclusive. But the opposite is true. Therese had aspirations and big dreams, but none of these were bigger than her desire to be a saint. She knew, little Saint Therese, that she could achieve holiness through her littleness, her childlike spirit, her dependence on God. And that is how she was sanctified. That is the path that the Lord called her to. She didn't become holy by doing more. She became holy by doing less, by becoming less, by being little. She said, "It is your arms, Jesus, that are the lift to carry me to heaven. And so there is no need for me to grow up. I must stay little and become less and less." And before you look at her life and her Carmelite vocation and write it off as something you can't relate to, so many instances don't align to where you see yourself in your life, I want to bring your attention back to her conversion, to that Christmas day when she was 14 years old, when she made the decision to depend on Jesus. You may look at that moment as a moment of emotional maturity, when she finally grew up, when she started handling things like an adult, etc., etc., when she gave up her emotional outbursts and her sensitivity and became more mature. But when we look at it for what it is, a conversion, a transformation by Jesus Christ, I think that is the moment that Therese became exactly who she was, dependent on Jesus, because she allowed Jesus into her heart and she allowed him to draw a line in the sand to say, that is it. We're not going back to desolation. We're not going back to discouragement. We're not going to spend the rest of our lives distraught because of what people say or think about us. She allowed Jesus to transform her heart, which then inspired her vocation. And that is where your greatness starts. Not with a trip to Rome or discovering your vocation, finding a religious order. It starts with a decision to let Jesus into your heart and allow him to transform your life, to allow yourself to experience that moment where your life was one way and now it is this way because Jesus changed you. And so today, to celebrate Saint Therese, I want to invite you to think of that area of your heart, that area of your life where you need the Lord's intervention, and ask the Lord to come into your heart and do what only he can do. Because friends, we could spend the rest of our lives trying to be changed and transformed by our own means, but the Lord can do in a moment what we could never do in a lifetime. And we see that so clearly through the life of Saint Therese. So if you're watching this video, I don't want you to waste another day trying to accomplish anything by your own means. You and me both can take a note from Saint Therese, the little flower, and offer everything at the feet of Jesus. Not force ourselves to grow up, not force ourselves to figure it out ourselves, not force ourselves to take care of everything, but to give everything over to Jesus and allow him to transform our lives. It is the only way. And with that, my friends, you and I will change the world, just like Saint Therese. So let's be changed together. Saint Therese, pray for us. See you next time.